preparing to board, please secure all loose articles and clothing. Hold on to the handle at all times. Sit back and prepare to ride.
Hello and welcome to part 3 of the Icon in Planet Coaster series. I've been updating you a lot on Twitter, but not in this series. It's been almost 2 months since part 2 came out, and in part 2 we made the shop. The shop front, I believe we made. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even know my own series. But we made the exit and also the station, which was quite cool, and also some of the queue line. But this episode, we're working on some theming in the middle of one of the main helixes in the second half of the ride, and also some of the theming around Steeplechase and building Steeplechase. So let's get straight into it. What I find weird about these episodes is that part 1, we're building the coaster layout, and it hadn't even opened yet. But it did open to people to go and ride it with the VIP boarding passes at the time of recording part 1. In part 2, it was about a month after it actually opened to the public, and I gave my thoughts on how it looked once it was open. Now, with part 3, I've been on it. And let me just say, if you haven't seen my top 10 coaster video, if you haven't, it's linked in the top right now. It's definitely in my top 3, and I'm going back later this summer for one of the late night riding times. I don't really know what you want to call it. Yeah, late night riding with fireworks, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully it may even go up even more, because it is at number 3 in my top 3. So it may even go up. It may beat Shambhala. I don't think it'll beat Red Force, because Red Force is just the god. Well, for me. That sounded really sad. We'll continue. So in this episode, as I said, with theming and stuff, there is a bit where I literally skipped out, where I placed a bunch of rocks down, but I really doubt you want to see that. It was very boring. And talking of cutting things out, I am starting to decrease the amount I record of this series, because I imagine there'd be about 10 different parts. It would be, one would be coaster building, one would be set as like the supports, one would be theming, one would be like all this other stuff, and I just haven't got round to it. There'll only be about 5 parts, because at the time I'm recording this, right now on the screen you can see that it's like, it looks like it's not even half done. Now it looks like it's, if you look at any angle of the second half, you would think, come on, you have to put that on the workshop because it looks finished. I've done that much on it. I've even built Skyforce as of now. You'll see that in another episode, part 4. And along with part 4, I do want to bring on some people to actually talk about Icon and what the experience of it's like. Because I know a lot of people who I know have the same opinion I do about Icon, and that it's either their top coaster or one of their best. So, yeah. Anyway, as you can see, I forgot to mention this, I do build the Pleasure Beach Express, which is obviously the train that goes around the whole entire Pleasure Beach. I'm not building the whole entire Pleasure Beach, I'm just going to be building the Pleasure Beach Express and Icon. But I also got asked, what other rides are you going to be able to ride? Now, obviously Pleasure Beach Express isn't actually a roller coaster, so if you were to ride that, it'd be alright to look at the views, but just that and Icon would be a bit boring. Big One will hopefully be finished and will be rideable. Big Dipper will be rideable as well, and possibly Avalanche. I'm not too sure on that last one, because I don't have the Vintage Pack DLC, and if you don't know, the Vintage DLC has a bobsleigh coaster in it. So I might get around to doing it one day, but hopefully, well, time will tell. I'm not too sure. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm building a bit of theming around the helix, as I said before. They have these weird red things. I don't know if I mentioned them in the previous episodes. I'm sure I did. But it's pretty much has the names of everyone who was involved in the project. Like, one of them has Michael Mack. The Thompson family are all on them. They're near the top hat, and they're also near here. And they're quite cool. And this one has like a weird wooden structure in the middle of it. It's kind of branches upwards and then outwards at the top. That's a good way of explaining it, actually. I tried to record the commentary for this video a couple minutes ago, and it failed miserably because I messed up saying that it was some wooden, spiky something. I can't remember what I said, but it was awful. But yeah, as you can see, putting that up here right now. And yeah, one thing I absolutely love about Icon is the soundtrack. If you don't know, I've actually put you probably saw it at the start of part 2, I put the launch sound effect on the ride itself. So as you can see in the background, the train just stopped and it launched off. When it stops, you hear the build up and then it goes Icon. Or that was such a bad impression, oh my god. But you get what I mean if you've been on it. And then you just launch off. It's got that sound effect on it. It's quite loud, and yeah, and if you do end up downloading this from the workshop, there will be a link to download the sound effects and music, because I have placed a load of speakers around with the music playing as well, which I guess is quite cool, although it can get very annoying when you're literally listening to it for a very long time, considering I've spelt nice one. I've spent hours on end on this project, and to see it finally finish it is not sad, but it's not exciting. I'm kind of excited to see how it looks in the end, but I'm also kind of sad to see it end as well. I mean, it makes way for new projects, such as, if you don't know, I'm building Stealth at Thorpe Park. That's just a mini project I'm doing. And if you haven't seen the teaser on my channel, also Walking Dead the Ride, which is the newest addition to Thorpe Park. Let's hope we get an RMC next year, or the year after, because if we don't, then most of us will be very annoyed, and no one will like Thorpe Park. Anyway, Blackpool. So, Icon is obviously Mac multi-launch. I've explained this multiple times. I think I'm dying from heat. I don't actually know. But as you can see, I'm putting up the fencing near the Pleasure Beach Express, right here, and I'm very proud with how this project has gone. And yeah, you can see Steeplechase. Oh Jesus, I think this heat is actually killing me. I'm not too sure. If you don't know, if you're not in the UK, which most of you probably are because you're watching a video of me building a UK ride, in the UK right now, it's really hot. Most of you would, like, from America or whatever, will come over and think it's not hot at all, but it's so humid for us. Like, I think the Florida heat was better than this. So yeah. But as you can see, Steeplechase is going up, and yeah, as I was saying, really proud with this project. I think it's one of my best, well, it is my best project I've done. If you were to see it now, because obviously you can't see it right now, you have to wait until part 4, part 5, where I start building Big Dipper will probably be the nearest one to that, and the big one supports, because if you don't know, the big one has weird support, well, it's not weird supports, but has supports that are really not the same as the one that they put in the game, and I've done custom supports for them as of recording this again, and yeah, so you'll have to see in like part 5 what they look like. I think part 5 will be the last part, because part 4 won't have much into it, and then part 5 will be an ending, and then a week after that or so you'll probably see the actual video to go up for the POV, which some people have been asking for. I'm sorry I haven't put it in the time lapse, I'm just saving it for that video, but you haven't got long to wait anymore. About less than a month maybe, if I can actually be bothered to make the parts, but I'll try my best. Sorry for not making as many as I'd like to. It's just been the heat, it's just not helped, and I've been going out to a lot of places, mainly Thorpe Park and Alton Towers, but Alton Towers? Said that really weirdly, but yeah, anyway, I'd like to thank everyone for the support in this series. We're not nearing the end of the video, we still have about 2-3 minutes left, but I'd like to thank everyone's support on this series. It's greatly appreciated. This takes a lot of time to do, and to have people saying that, oh, it looks great, or giving me feedback towards what I can do next, is just great. So I'd like to thank you all for that. Anyway, here's the Big Dipper going in, and I only do a bit of it in this episode. I do actually build the rest of it. I don't know whether I recorded it or not. Again, I've stopped recording a lot of what I do, but I'll still make another 2 parts somehow. I've also recently done all the custom supports, and They do, if you don't know, there was a massive update that came out. Everyone's thinking, oh, it's quite small, but it had the vintage DLC pack in it. And it also had custom supports and a few other things as well. So a lot of people have been going back on their old coasters and using the custom supports to make it brand new. They've got footers, connection beams, the support beams themselves, and I've decided to go through Icon and redo them all. I would have done them with ARP shapes anyway, but they look a lot better as the supports they've added recently. You can probably just about see the Icon Immelman supports that I've put in the background of the thumbnail. I've probably sent loads of pictures to Discord chats. And by the way, if you haven't joined the Discord, you can. There's probably a link in the description. Go check it out, because you'll get updates on videos coming out. And yeah, so we are nearing the end of the episode. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Quick recap: we built Steeplechase, bit of theming around that area near Icon. Big Dipper, only a bit of it though. Theming round the Helix, or the second half of Icon as well. Next episode will probably include custom supports and all that kind of stuff. Again, sorry about the wait for part 3. I was a bit stupid when it came to recording commentary because I just didn't have the energy. That's a way of explaining it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in part 4, which will hopefully include someone where we can actually have a decent conversation about Icon and not just be me just going on about whatever the hell I want to. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.